deep in the darkness of space. You and your companions work on the spaceship. Welcome to Lockdown Protocol. Your mission, if you choose to accept it, do the task and stay alive before the timer runs out. And try to stay alive. Because there are saboteurs on board. We're looking to make sure that time runs out. Here's how to play. Now to learn the game basics. This would be easier if I had someone here to help demonstrate, but I'm going to have to work on my own for this one. So it's very simple. You use your WASD keys to move forward, right, left, backwards. Also, if you hold shift, look in the bottom left corner. I'm now in walk mode, just going forward. And when I'm stopped, I'm still in walk mode. But if you hold shift, you're now in run mode. This means you move a little bit faster. But also, as you just noticed, this white bar goes down. This white bar is your stamina. And that blue bar below it is your health. If you run out of stamina, simply by running or jumping, you take damage. Also, if you get hit by a weapon, you also lose stamina and damage. Now, as you can see, I'm also regaining my health. So you just have to be very mindful, because I know a lot of people who just kept running and running and running and weren't paying attention, and then they died. And that's right, you saw me earlier. You could also jump. It does take a lot of stamina, so you have to be very careful. Especially if you're jumping off of something that takes more stamina. Take this guardrail here. You could hop the guardrail, but also you lose a lot of stamina. Other little things you could do is you could point by holding the right click, and then you can do this action, and you could do this action, which is hitting something. So say if you have the knife or the screwdriver, this is how you attack. But just know that attacking also takes stamina. So don't go swinging wildly now. Now if you hold right and then left, you could throw. And if you don't have an item, you can hold right and left, and you give a thumbs up. Also, if you hold F, you put your hands up as if you were being robbed, or if you want to give a double high five. And if you're holding something and then press F, you drop it instantly. Also, if you're holding something and press Q to check your tablet, you drop stuff as well. Now, Chapter 2, Learning the Map. Let's give you a map tour. Now this is the security room. All you could do here is rotate the camera and a few simple long tasks. This room is an armory. There is nothing here. but it's a great spot if you're a dissident to hide something. This is the machine room. This is where you find your filter washing station for when you do vents, your charging station for charging batteries, your supply cabinet for anything electrical based, and this is also where the task pressure lies. Next, you have storage room. Anything that you need for electrical task, pressure task, Vizushi task, or delivery task can be found here. Also, you could find weapons if you're fast enough. Next destination is medical. This is where you could do your scanning task, with also a few other little side tasks to where you could either find vents or drop off deliveries. Now this, you'll find these around the map. This is a gun box. You try to open it with the correct passcode that you have to guess to get it right. It works on more of a Wordle system. So if I put 0, 1, 2, 3, I have 2 and 3 correct. So if I put 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 5. Now if I put 5, 2, 3, 6, Bundaba. We have correctly guessed 5, 2, 3, and 6. So if we get 5, 2, 3, 7, our code is open. If you open the gun safe in the correct amount of turns before the turns run out, then the gun safe will open. If you don't, it'll stay locked and reset, changing the code. Next location, Vizushi. Now you're probably wondering, what is Vizushi? Vizushi is a combination of pizza and sushi. For this, you need a lot of things from a lot of locations, making this a longer task, but fairly simple to understand. You will find bags of rice, which you need to put here. And you would also need some containers and a fish. But we'll get that when we cover the Vizushi task. Next is a storage room. This is also counted as Vizushi. This is where you could find some rice sometimes if you don't find it in storage. Also, another gun safe. Next on the locations is botanical. This is the main botanical room where you could find plants that are required for analysis and Vizushi. Also, another gun safe. This is the botanical storage room, because after you use one of these capsules or containers, you have to put them on the cleaning device and then clean them. That's all there is for this room. And then this is the botanical research room. In here is where you do analysis. We will cover that later. Last but not least, computers. This is where you're able to do your computer task, along with a few other little things, as you've seen throughout the game, where you have your delivery boxes and your fuse boxes, other known as power boxes. And you're probably wondering, what's this thing? To be frankly honest with you, at the time of making this informational video, I have no clue. The game was updated yesterday, March 28th, 2025. And I have not read the update log, so I have no clue what this is. But a little side update, I figured out what this thing does. They added a new alarm system. So in case you're in danger and require help, alarm. To stop the alarm, remove the fuse. But if you put the fuse back in, the alarm does not work no more. This is the spawning room. There is nothing here except for spawning. Now, for the task. Let's start with pressure. So for pressure task, you have to receive and collect these pressure canisters from the storage room. You then bring them over here and load them into this machine. This is pressure. You see you have these numbered pressure canisters. Kind of like the gun box, but with less help and assistance. You have to get the right order of containers in the slots. To power up pressure, you come around this side and click the start button, the blue up arrow. Now be careful where you stand, because if you're standing in the wrong spot, you might just go boom. But luckily, we've gotten the right code so far, meaning all of these are in the correct spot. But you have to get it to full power for the task to be complete. As you can see, we have the wrong canister in the wrong spot, meaning we need to try a different canister. Voila! Half of pressure is complete. Now you need to make sure both sides are active. That's the key, because blue canisters work instantly, no matter what. It's the yellow and reds you have to worry about. Now, let's move to deliveries. Deliveries are quite simple. You come into the storage area, you grab the box, and you check its location. This one goes to maintenance. So you come in here. You can do this with the box in your hand, but it will take some of your stamina. So you open the door, place the box in, close the door, and this delivery is done. Many more to go. Now, let's do vents. Kind of like delivery, vents are very simple. As you saw on that title card, there was a blue line over that vent. With this one, red line, which is a bad vent. So, we have to take our vents out of the system, bring it over to the cleaning device, pop it in, and click start. Once it's finished, we remove the vent and place it in here and lock it in. And once it's done, you can unlock it. Next, we'll move on to power or fuse box. Fuse boxes are very simple. It's basically just a fuse box. You just take the fuses out. Well, some of them will spawn with only one fuse. Some of them will spawn with 2 of the correct fuses. And some of them will spawn with a bum battery or a good battery. It all depends on how lucky you feel. Lucky you get. So we will take out our fuses, swap them around to make sure the color-coded sides touch. Then we will take a battery from right here, place it on the charger, half power. So just for the namesake, we will put on the quick charge. Excellent, and then we will put it here. Once the battery drains into the power box, it is now clear. Now let's move on to scanner. Scanner you can do by yourself. It's just very hard. You have to turn all these unfilled dots to black dots. Now how this is done, you and preferably a partner or a teammate will come in here. One will stand behind the screen and one will stand inside these 4 dots. You hear that ticking? It sounds like a Geiger counter. Now, depending on where I look, it moves. You hear the rapid pace? That means I'm closer to one of the dots. See? Moved slightly, deaccelerated, and accelerates. You heard the speed change? That means I just cleared one of the black dots. It's a very simple task to understand, but a very hard task to do by yourself. Now, let's move on to its neighboring task, Fuzushi. Fuzushi is very simple. For those of you who work in the food industry, you just come to the table, take the order, and run back and make it. So this requires the black rice, the shrimp, and the white. So let's start with the white. For the white, we need to go down to botanical. Now you might have noticed this color chart right here. These plants represent each color: blue, yellow, red, white, green. So we are looking for the white. Now, it randomizes every time. Like see, blue and yellow are right here, and the white is right next down here to the green. And the red is right there. It randomizes every time. Now you come in here, and you place the rice right here. To start the sushi, first you need to press the seaweed button. Pardon me, you place the right here. Next, we require the rice. So you take your capsule, put it here. Before you can do anything with it, you have to put the rice into the machine, which we already know we located the rice earlier. So you take your capsule, you load it full of rice, then you put it where the rice goes. Now we require the shrimp. To collect any fish, you have to come to the fish machine. This gets you salmon, tuna, cod, and shrimp. Now let's order a shrimp. Now I know this doesn't look like a shrimp. It looks exactly like a lobster. We all know this. But it is what it is. So you add the fish. You add the color. To top it off, you box the egg. And you take the delivery straight to the table and place it in the designated slots. And that is Fizushi pretty well done. Next, we shall move on to analysis. So for this one, you require a container. Now let's start with the simple yellow analysis. For this, you come around here to the analysis chamber, or the botanical chamber. And you gotta find the correct color to start. Here's the yellow. Then you must come right back around here and place it in this machine for it to be processed. Once processed, it'll release this tube, which you must put it in the analyzer to analyze. And that is yellow done. Next, we shall do a mixture for analysis. First, we must clean this. Now, take note of our mixture, green and red. And you don't have to do these in order. You could do them in any order you choose. Whether you want to do yellow, red, green, white, yellow, white, red, green, green, red, white, and so forth. But first, we will be doing capsule container cleaning. Now, like I said earlier, you pop it in here, and just like the beds, pop it in, push the button, cleans, and voila, an empty container. Now let's come around here and grab some red, pocket this one, and then grab some green. Now we run on back. And do exactly like we did before with the yellow. We put it in the processing unit. We then have to remove this one, pop it away, place this in, take our processed green and pop it there. Now we do the same bit for the red. Take the remaining red and pop it right next to the green. And this is our mixing device. This will mix them into this. Now we just put it on an analyzer, and that is analysis done, leaving really just one more task. Computers. One of the easiest, one of the harder tasks to do, in my opinion. Now, for computers, you have to send the signal from the computer to start. This went to Botanic. So now, you can go in here and click Accept or Deny. We want to accept this, of course, before it will finish the task. And now, we must go back to the computer in the office and accept. This computer is done. Now, like Scanner, this is a very easy task to do with 2 people. Because if you're doing it by yourself, you might get cases like this one, where it won't send the first time. And if it doesn't send the first time, you don't know when it's going to send. So you just have to stand here and figure it out. Wunderbar. It was sent to machine. So now let's come over to machine and accept. Well, it verified on this side too. Now, it could also fail on this end as well. So you have to be wary of that. But once all the tasks are done, that means the employees win. Now, I think it's time you learned what the dissidents do. The dissidents' only goal is to sabotage everybody else. Any player can find weapons around the map. They randomly spawn either in gun cases or in random locations, like you just saw in the computer room, and you've seen throughout the map. These weapons consist of a pistol, a knife, a screwdriver, which also could be used for vents. There's also a shotgun I'm having trouble to locate, and a 2-part, a really good one, a 2-part weapon, C4, and a detonator. And the thing about C4, it looks exactly like a battery, so it's very easy to miss if you're not looking for it. And no matter where the C4 is, if you find the detonator, which sometimes won't spawn, you can then explode whoever or wherever the C4 lies. One more thing to cover. How to holster. Now you're probably wondering, what is holstering? Well, say you have a screwdriver and you need to carry something else. You press E, and then you put it in your little fanny pack or holster. Now you can pick up this cassette tape and just do whatever you want with it. Now there are items like the pressure canister, the rice, the packages, and the vents. These are too big to holster. So these require both hands. So that means if you're holding 2 objects, you're going to have to let one of them go to carry a canister, a package, the rice, or a vent. And other than the little nooks and crannies that you will learn with the game, that is all you need to know about Lockdown Protocol. Please enjoy your time in space.